When I left to go to Atlanta to pursue acting, I kept hearing, you're not going to need to look for a job.
Huh? What? Oh. Okay.
Welcome back to Kingston Reviews. Derek here. Thank you guys for tuning into another video. The video I have here is Celeste Jonah. Please go check out her channel and her video 57 and Broke. I think it's a really good video. She does a great job of being honest and talking about where she's at right now. I think she needs to realize that a lot of these decisions were not just the one or two, but these are decisions that she's been making her entire life. It's a bit selfish looking out for her own self-interest and trying to live an exciting life and doing what she thinks is best for her. But God intends us to be in connection with others, and He wants us to choose the right people, God-fearing people, hopefully, to be in connection with. But she seems to choose the wrong people, and now she's 57. She's underemployed and she's regretting a lot of her life decisions. I wish her the best. Go check out her video, but let's go ahead and get into the video.
And decided to chase a dream, thinking everything would fall into place, things would be in order. My life blew up. It has not been the same in 3 years. Reality is something else. I recognize that most of it is my doing and undoing. And honestly, I really want God to wave a magical wand and take me back to the day I was going to resign and listen to the advice I was given. But I didn't, because I think I'm grown and I have the answers. And I found out I don't. I used to say I would want to go back before that bad relationship out of college, and I'll talk about that. But I don't want to go back that far. I just want to go back 3 years.
I want you guys to stick around closer to the end of the video, because I got another video where she talks about her college life and some relationships she had there and how this pertains to kind of how she ended up where she is right now. So stick around to the end of the video to see that.
The scary part about it is, even if I had made what I thought would be the perfect decision, it doesn't mean anything would have ended up differently. I still could have been in this predicament. I didn't see this coming. I thought I had prepared, and evidently I didn't, which makes me think about a couple of things. Okay, so what happened was, let me just go back. When I left my corporate job, I was 54, I believe, 53, 54. When I left to go to Atlanta to pursue acting, I kept hearing, you're not going to need to look for a job.
There it is, Hitman.
So there it is. She says that she basically left her job to go act at the age of 54 in Atlanta. Now, I gotta say that, you know, hindsight is always 20/20. I know everyone has dreams no matter how old they are, but by the time you hit 54, having a dream to be an actress, I can tell that this lady, with all due respect, has made a lot of bad decisions based on her feelings, and it seems to be a very common issue with women such as herself. In fact, I'm going to guess that throughout her life, she's made one bad decision after another that's led her to this point in her life.
You're goddamn right.
And that's not me trying to be mean or cruel. I do have a lot of respect for the way that she's owning her own actions and owning the mistakes that she's made. But at some point, owning the mistakes that you've made in your life is not enough. You've got to start making some changes in your behavior, accepting that you need some self-improvement, and actually acting on that. And so let's go ahead and continue with the story. But that is absolutely insane. You know, you guys know that I lost my job when I was 50 years old, and I can tell you, losing a good job and then quitting a good job, two different things. And especially as a female, at least as a male, you can use your body a little bit more, sacrifice your physical body, and find some employment, whether that's mowing lawns or whatever kind of hustle you want to do. But I can tell you, as a female, that's going to be a lot harder to work 2 shifts, to work late at night, to lift boxes for a living. And so for her to quit her job at 54 to be an actress, absolutely crazy.
Before I left, someone here in Memphis connected me to somebody in Atlanta about working a job. And I started going through the process, the interview, filling out the application, and able to do the job. It was something that was right up my alley. Unfortunately, I allowed myself to talk about I self-sabotage. And I said, you know what? I can't do this job. I'm going to be acting. I don't know when I'll need off, when I'll do this, A, B, C, and D. Made an excuse because I'm thinking it's going to be okay. You'll get someplace steady, consistent. You'll be able to take off when you need to and so forth. Because I'm thinking I don't want to interrupt or get anybody else in trouble. If I had been a little bit more wise and I guess maybe selfish, I would have taken the job without question.
So I wanted to clarify what she's saying here. She's basically saying she quit her job, moving to Atlanta. Somehow God, she's saying, put this opportunity to get a job that she could work in Atlanta while she's pursuing her acting career. And she's basically saying how she's thinking whether she should take the job or not. And catch what she says here, where she thinks that it would be selfish of her to take the job. I guess she's saying it's selfish of her to take the job to get a little security, which makes no sense at all. I think it's absolutely insane that this woman is single. She has no kids. She has no husband. She has no one but herself, essentially, maybe her sister, something like that, to fall back on. And you don't even take a job that is willing to allow you to work on your acting career. You turn that down. But let's go ahead and continue, because I think it just gets a little sillier as we go along.
That was in October of 2022, rolling into November. I did not find a job until September of 2022, almost a whole year. I hustled. I drove DoorDash. I did Amazon deliveries. I worked overnight at Walmart. I did everything I could, and I'm sorry, y'all. I did it's called InstaWork, everything I could. And then I also ended up withdrawing my pension and my retirement because I just didn't have enough money. And this is not how I expected things to go. I really didn't, because I always landed on my feet. And this is the first time I had done it. So I went and I finally got a job and was working at a company. I talked to them so much of acting, every now and then I might need some time off. Because, I wasn't doing like big time. I wasn't gone all the time. It was fine. They hired a manager who had a problem with it. And she didn't want to give me any additional opportunity. She had issue with me. And I'm a worker. I'm dependable. Most of the time I was there, and I would look around and I would see other people not showing up for work, leaving early, coming late, and that's not how I work. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to work my butt off. I'm going to help you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to leave on, I'll leave at my designated hour if I don't have anything else hanging or, over.
So rule number one, if you're on an interview, you think you've got the job and you're talking to your employer, don't go sharing with your employer too much of your personal plans, like her personal plan to pursue her acting career. Your employer does not care about it.
Released all that off your shoulders. Gosh, that's a heck of a load for you to carry around all these years. How does it make you feel? It doesn't matter how it makes you feel.
It's okay, guys. I can't tell you how many times people would tell me stuff like that, hey, I want to take the job, but, I want to be off on Fridays. I've had people say, you know what, I usually want to take off when WWE is got their big matches or something like that. I literally had someone tell me that one time. Why would you tell your employer that you're going to be taking time off for your acting career up front? Of course, you're going to have a manager or someone there that's not going to take you seriously, right? And she's got to have better perspective of herself. She's saying, like, I come to work on time. That's a bare minimum.
I want some credit for some shit they supposed to do. A normal man just doesn't. They'll say shit like, I take care of my kids. You're supposed to, you dumb.
I do my job, a bare minimum, right? And I'm not saying that she doesn't do a great job. I don't know her. But these are not special things. You're just an employee to a company. And I can tell you guys, from someone that hired a lot of people, that worked for a couple different companies don't care about you individually. They just don't, okay? They only care about the bottom line, and everybody that works for the company just cares about their own well-being. So you've got to look out for yours. Don't share that kind of information with your employer. Keep that stuff to yourself. If you want to take that time off, use your allotted PTO, right? You don't have to share those details with your employer.
I eventually ended up leaving in April because she was riding me. I was like, I am not going to put up with this. Well, sorry, I was checking to see if someone else was there, but I ended up finding another job. I was working at Amazon in the warehouse. Did that for a while. I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And eventually got another job. Okay, that was April. In July, started a new job on July 10th. It was a contract to hire position. So I was getting on my feet and everything. And I felt bad because my goal was, the young lady I was living with, I was only going to be there a year. And I ended up being there the whole time, minus maybe a couple months, 2 months. Because what ended up happening, I got my job, was getting on my feet, I was like, I want my own place. Moved out, and the place I moved into was roach infested. And I thought, okay, maybe this is a fluke, I'm seeing a few, they terminated, it's probably been empty a while. But no. Y'all, I slept in my bedroom, tried to cover the door so they couldn't get in. It didn't matter. They got in. I woke up one morning and there was some crawling up the wall. And I thought, I can't do this. I had ordered furniture and I had to cancel that order. I never unpacked, and then I would have to unpack. When I got ready to leave, but I finally was like, I've had enough of Atlanta. Nothing's working out. I'm broke. I can't seem to get on my feet. I'm not bouncing back. I was stressed. I thought, I'm going home, and I had been talking to my sister and everything, and I hate it because I felt like I quit too soon and I gave up, but I did not. I felt as if I didn't have a choice. So I talked to my employer and she said I could work remote if I committed for 2 years. Y'all, when you get ready to make a major decision, talk to God first. Because you can talk to people and they will talk you out of what you asked God for. Because I asked God specifically, if I could have a job, I could work remote, I could stay with this company, and I could move back to Memphis. Well,
so let me guess what's going to happen here. So to clarify, she's thinking about moving and her employer offers her a job where she can work from home. So another good job opportunity being offered to this lady. Let's see what she's going to do.
In my ear, and then even me, so I can't blame it on them because it was my final decision. I decided not to work for them. I regretted that because I'm thinking I'll go back to my old company. That did not happen, and I'm still not there. I've been back since August of 2024, and it is, what month is it? This is February of 2025. I applied for several positions, and I have enough rejection emails from them. If I printed them out, I can wallpaper at least one wall. I'm not going back. I don't know what's on my file, but they are not hiring me back. Period.
One of the most important things that I've learned over the years, especially being 51 today, is you've got to have self-introspection. You got to be able to look at yourself objectively, be able to take some creative criticism. And it's clear to me that this lady, whenever she receives any kind of criticism, she just moves on to the next thing. The grass is greener on the other side. And when she left her employer, I don't think she realizes that she was never going to be able to get back there, okay? They've already hired someone to fill her position. Most likely, think about it this way. If this was a boyfriend or girlfriend relationship, they say, hey, I want to check it out on the other side. I want to see if the grass is greener. They leave. Then they come back 2 years later saying, hey, I want to come back and fill the position that I had. People just don't tend to like that, right? And at the end of the day, people that are working at her previous company, they're just people too. And they don't see any reason to take this person back. And they probably look back at it now in retrospect and say, oh, she was always unhappy. She's always complaining. She was always, most likely she doesn't even realize that she did those things. And I'm guaranteeing you she did. For her to leave a good job to pursue an acting career, I guarantee you she probably talked about it a lot. She probably complained about her job at that time because here she's getting different good job offers and turning them down. So just have a little self-introspection. And I see that she's kind of doing that, but you've got to critique yourself negatively as well. You got to take those negatives and try to turn them into a positive.
Get a contract position in October, but by that time I was behind on a few things, not severely. Moved out, got my own place, and I am happy about having my own place because ain't nothing like going home and it's quiet. Run through your house, however you want to. So Decorate how you want to, move things around like you want to. You know what I'm saying? Moved in, just felt that, applied for the apartment, applied, moved in. Just a good apartment complex. The rent is not ridiculous. It's decent in my opinion. Still on a contract position, trying to make ends meet. They are waving at each other. Every now and then they shake hands. And I don't know what happened in the last 30 days, and it just seemed like everything, it's as if the bottom is falling out. And I go through this, God, I've done everything I believe you've asked me to do. I do need to have a little bit more joy behind it. I believe I'm where I'm supposed to be. I believe I was supposed to come back to Memphis. I believe I was supposed to go to this place, do this, X, Y, and Z. Why am I struggling? Where is the support? And I keep thinking back, he set everything up, and I feel like I spit in his face, and I'm being punished. But I know that's not how God works. These are the repercussions of my own actions. And I'm not angry at him, but I am angry with myself. And it's been tough. I have one person who I tell everything to. And I know somebody watching this thinks it's them, but it's not. Sorry, I almost went somewhere. Because I realized you cannot share with people even if they're considered a friend. I just got to a point where I was tired of being stuff thrown back in my face, no support. Sometimes I just need people to listen and let me just have my moment and not criticize me for it. But I'm going to leave that over there. Right over there. Okay, so, but I have someone, I consider her a sister, a really good friend, that I can talk to, I can call, she'll pray with me. She understands the spiritual things I'm going through, as well as the physical and the financial. And I don't feel horrible when I get off the phone, where with so many other people, I feel like crap. I am hard enough on myself. And it's difficult because I think back to who I am. I went to school on the to college on an academic scholarship. I graduated with honors. I am talented, I'm smart, I have a great work ethic. And it's just been hard because I'm not making the money I was making. But God knows I'm so grateful to be working. And I've just panicked because I'm trying not to resort to any of my old ways. I don't want to borrow any money. Because of course my credit has taken my life to come back together. And it's hard. And I think, oh my gosh, I am 7 years on the other side of 50. And waiting for this to work out is hard. And I don't know what I'm going to do. She kind of laughed at me because I said, you know what, I'm at the point where I want to give away what I can give away, put all my stuff in storage, and live in my car. I don't want to do that. Please, God, that is not what I want. I don't want to do that, but that's what I feel because I feel like that's the only way I'm going to catch up and get back on track. This is hard.
So a couple things that I wanted to address here. I actually mentioned it just before about being able to take criticism. This is something that I find that a lot of women struggle with, men too. I know that I personally struggle with that as well. I mean, taking criticism always sucks, but sometimes you gotta sit in that negative feeling and acknowledge the mistakes that you made and make a change. I think what she talked about there, talking to her friend that doesn't make her feel that way, really just avoids, right? It avoids the problem that caused the problems in the first place. One of the interesting things that she says here is really important too. It's really hard when you're in your late 50s, if you had a good job, you lost that job, and then you've got to start back from square one. Really difficult, and I really appreciate her honesty talking about that. I am so thankful that I was able to figure it out. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I had a spouse to fall back on, right? And this is where I think she really made some mistakes in the past that are catching up with her now. I'm going to show you guys a video here that she had previously talking about a good man that she had in the first few years of college, and she turned him down for a bad man, and this process repeated itself many times over the next few years until she's now 57 years old, and now she's by herself. So let's take a look at that video, and then we're going to wrap it up after that. So this video is called The Ashes Have Voices. This is one of her earlier videos, I believe, and this is a book that she actually wrote called The Ashes Have Voices, and she's reading an excerpt talking about when she first went to college and basically like her early years. And this is where she talks about some of her early relationships.
My relationship journey truly began in college, and I met a great guy who I should have married. I did not. Instead, I rejected him over and over and over and found myself engaged to a guy who practiced the art of verbal and physical abuse. He is the same guy with whom I had sex for the first time and was not thrilled about the whole thing. Remember that? Well, the first time he hit me, I did what most survivors do. I blamed myself. I not only blamed myself the first time, but also the second, the third, and the 100th. For 3 years, I remained in the relationship with him because I did not believe that anyone else would want to be with someone who looked like me. At that time, I did not believe I was attractive physically or had anything to offer anyone. I was in my 20s. I left him, moved to another city, and reconnected with my boyfriend from high school. He found me. He was a nice guy then, and I assumed he was still a nice guy. We spent time together, dated for a short time. We eventually moved in together and decided to get married. Off to the courthouse we went, and afterward, I went to work, and he went home. That was in January. By March of that same year, it was over. We were arguing, and he was talking crazy to me, and I was talking crazy to him. I vaguely remember that there was one time he locked me out of the apartment. He asked for a divorce, and I gladly obliged. I was still in my 20s.
So she continues on in the video talking about additional relationships, a handful that basically follow the same profile. Oh, I think this is the guy. And then a few months later, oh no, this is not the guy. I'm sure there's a sprinkling of other guys in between those guys that you ladies never like to talk about, right? They never existed. But I think this really typifies what I was talking about, where she's been making bad decisions for a long time, right? One of the most important things that we can do in our life is who do we choose to spend our life with? And yes, God intends us to spend our life with someone, right? And we've got to choose that person better. You know, there's a lot of ladies in the position that she's in. Maybe they've chosen bad guys to be in relationships with, and now they're single, and now she's 57 years old, underemployed, and may never reach the peak of her employment. I do wish her the best, especially with the way this video is taking off. I hope that does something for her career. Maybe this helps her acting career. But at the end of the day, if she continues to make poor decisions on the people that she has in her life, she's going to end up at 67 repeating this process over and over again. So one of the most important things, guys, is who we choose to be connected with. God intends us to be in connection with others, right? And I think this is a woman that she probably won't admit to it, but she's had a selfish streak in her life where when things don't go her way, she chooses the grass is greener on the other side, and she's given up on relationships. And when she had a good opportunity first in college, she turned it down for a bad opportunity. So she likes to take that risky opportunity that's more exciting, clearly by leaving her job at 54 to be an actress in Atlanta, which is absolutely ridiculous. And you could have almost predicted the outcome, right? But anyways, if you guys like content like this, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the views and subscribers. Y'all have a great day.